The Humble Bounce spell. Blue's main answer to the question of removal, and one that is criminally underrated in Commander. Sure, it doesn't answer the target permanently, but they're generally cheap, and sometimes even temporarily stalling an opponent's game plan is enough to put them out of contention. And well, if that wasn't enough to convince you, let me show you this. Expel from Orazca is a 2-mana blue instant with Ascend, which returns target permanent to its owner's hand, or that can put that permanent on top of its owner's deck if you have the City's Blessing. That's right, this card can remove any permanent, including the sticky enchantments, artifacts and walkers blue can struggle to deal with, and then bricks that permanent's owner's next draw for the low cost of only 2 mana instant speed. And even better, this card can also target any permanent, including your things, and gives you the choice of returning to hand or stacking on top, meaning you can also choose to target your permanents with this, put them into your hand as a form of makeshift protection in a pinch. What's not to love? Honestly, to my eye, this should stand as one of Blue's best removal spells. Compare this to Reality Shift. They have the same casting cost, the same timing restrictions, and crucially, they both remove something for a near identical cost for counter spell, which is a big advantage in any blue deck. Of course, they're not identical, and both have their ups and downs, with Shift exiling its target, but only hitting creatures and leaving a body behind, and Expel being far more flexible and not giving anything to the opponent, but also not dealing with anything permanently without help. All that being said, let's take a step back and have a look at what cards we're actually talking about here and comparing. Expel sees play in less than 10k decks, according to EDH Rec, and yet, to my eye, is on par with Reality Shift, which is in 250,000 decks, is the 23rd most played blue card ever, and is the 4th most played blue removal spell after Pongify, Rapid Hybridization, and bloody Psych Rift. And you may be thinking that I'm overstating how good this card is, and frankly you may be right. The non-permanence of the removal can definitely come up, and frankly, hyperbole gets people to listen on the internet, so of course I'm going to hyperbolize. But crucially, Shift and Expel both achieve kind of exactly the same thing that you want them to. Removing threats from the board, ending Voltron players' dreams, getting around indestructible, disrupting combo turns and infinites, and being great options to hold up while threatening a counterspell. And frankly, Expel even has bonuses on top of that, even compared to Reality Shift. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't play Reality Shift, you definitely should, the card's great and people just need to run more removal regardless. No, what I'm saying is that you should play both, because Reality Shift is fantastic, and Expel from Orazca is equally as fantastic as Reality Shift. And if you're still reticent after all that I've said and all the points that I've made, how about the fact that since Expel from Orazca stacks a card, it's also got some real nice synergies as well. Starting with the obvious, this goes real nice in a mill deck. Stack the permanent on top of your opponent's library on the end step before your turn, and then let them watch in frustration as your Psychic Corrosion mills it on your draw for turn. Basically, running this in a mill deck turns it into permanent removal just by virtue of the good old disappearing library syndrome. Also, bonus points if you're running Ungerthrod to yoink the stacked and milled card at the end step, or if you expel straight into Atash's Hideous Laughter, which is just brutal. Also, same kind of theory works with using Expel to just bounce the card and then wheeling their hand away. And actually quickly cycling back to Ungerthrod, it's commanders of his ilk that really like this card, the kind of commander who delights in nicking your opponent's property from the tops of their decks. Kotis, Paco and Haldan, Rashmi and Ragavan, Thunder Junction, Gonti. After all, why remove a permanent when you can just take it for yourself? Them's the big brain plays, right there. Overall, Expel from Orazca is a fantastic removal spell, but one hampered by the general consensus held by a good chunk of Commander players that if a removal spell isn't nigh unconditional destruction, shuffle, or exile, it's not good removal. And well, I obviously disagree with that notion, and now that I've shown you how good a card like this can be, I hope you do too. I would recommend giving this card a try, as you may have picked up by now, it's definitely better than it looks. Ciao.